Find a cozy spot, grab a cozy blanket, get cozy. Today, we are going to read The Man from Nowhere by Bernard Smith. Chapter 1, Wahiba. The Wahiba Sands, a soft sand desert in northeast Oman. 200 kilometers from north to south, 100 from east to west. Long dunes run north to south, long lines of sand always changing, always moving in the wind. On its west side, Wahiba is a long wall of red sand, 50 or 60 meters high. It runs slowly down onto the empty desert, which is the center of Oman. Hard, stony, and flat as a table, this desert is the eastern side of the great Rub al-Khali, the empty quarter. In the east, the dunes of sand run down onto long, empty beaches. Crabs and seabirds live there by day, and green turtles often come out of the sea to lay their eggs by night. After the beaches, there is only the deep blue-green water of the Arabian Sea for 1,500 kilometers to Gujarat in northern India. The sands of Wahiba are empty and quiet. There is no sound. Nothing bigger than a lizard can live in the great sea of soft red gold sand. Nothing bigger than marram grass can grow there. You hear nothing but the blood in your ears and the hot, dry air going in and out of your mouth. To walk in the soft sand is difficult. It pulls your feet as you walk. Your legs soon hurt, and you get tired very quickly. To move at all is hard work. And of course, in the day, the hot sun is always there. The air is hot. The sand is hot. There is nowhere you can go away from the sun, no tree as far as you can see. In the sky above the blue-green Indian Ocean, a small plane is coming from the east. Red and white, 2 engines, the only sound in the quiet sky. Chapter 2, Red Snow. Are you okay? Would you like some coffee? The man looked back and smiled. Good idea, he said. I'm feeling all right, but coffee would be good. The woman came and sat in the seat next to the man. She had 2 cups of coffee in her hand. Where are we? She asked, looking out at the clear blue sky outside the plane. Can you see that thin brown line where the sky meets the sea? Said the man. Well, that's the coast of Oman. We're going north now, along the coast. That's good, said the woman, giving the man a cup. When do you think we'll get to Tehran? How's Andy? Asked the man. He's fine. He's asleep on the back seat. We got up very early this morning. He was very tired. Good, said the man. I want to talk to you, and I don't want Andy to hear. Is there a problem? Asked the woman. Not really. I've just talked to our friend Parvis in Tehran on the radio. He says the weather in Tehran is terrible. It's not a good time to go there. Oh dear, and I wanted to see it, said the woman. We can go next year when the weather's better, said the man. I told Parvis we wouldn't come this time. It's no good if the weather is wet and cold. What do we want to do then? Are we going straight home? Asked the woman. No, said the man. We're free until next Wednesday, and we haven't had a holiday together for a long time. I thought we could go to Bahrain tonight. We could see our friends Neil and Rosie there. Then I thought we could go to Paris for a few days. It's Andy's birthday on Saturday. We could go to Euro Disney in Paris with him. Why not? Good idea, said the woman. We won't tell Andy until we get there. It'll be a nice surprise for him. Okay, I'll call Bahrain on the radio and tell them we're coming. I talked to the people on Masira a few minutes ago. We're okay to fly north along the coast. I'll radio Bahrain when I've had my coffee. The woman put her face against the plane window and half closed her eyes. There was nothing but clear blue sky and deep green-blue sea. Then she saw the thin line of sandy brown to the left. That's the coast of Oman, you say? She said. The man looked to the left. The brown, sandy line of the desert coast of Oman was now quite clear. "That's the Wahiba Sands," he said. "I don't think you've ever seen it. It's beautiful. It's a great soft sand desert. I was there about 10 years ago when I worked in Oman." The man turned the plane to the west and took it slowly down. "We're too high to see it well," he said. "I'll take us down to about 300 meters. Then you can see the coast and the dunes." The plane flew low over the coast, a wide, empty beach, a few small houses next to the sea. Then only the long gold lines of the dunes. "Beautiful," said the woman. "You're right, so clean, so empty. I've never seen anything like it. But don't go too far. Turn round now." "Okay," said the man, and the small plane turned slowly in the hot, clean air. The woman put some more coffee into the man's cup. The man turned in his seat and took the cup. Later, he remembered seeing the cup full of coffee in his hand, brown and hot. Then everything began to happen very slowly. First there was a light to his left, a quick white light, and a noise, first a bang, then a loud noise that went on and on. Something hit his face, hard, on the left side between his left ear and his left eye. Then, suddenly, he was half sitting and half lying on the floor of the plane. The noise was terrible. He could not think. He could not move. The air in the plane was full of snow, white and flying about slowly in the air. Then the snow was red. Red snow everywhere in the air. The woman looked slowly down at him. Her face and body were red with the thick snow. Her eyes and mouth were wide open, but he could not hear anything. "That's blood on her face," he thought. "Why is there blood on her face? And she's shouting at me, but I can't hear what she's saying. I can't hear anything over the terrible noise." There was another noise now. Beep, 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 like a car. He knew it meant danger of some kind, but he could not think. From the floor of the plane, he looked up. The woman was flying the plane, her eyes and mouth wide open, and her face red with blood. "That's wrong," he thought. "She doesn't know how to fly a plane. She can't do it." Then he was suddenly in the air. He felt his body fly up and hit something hard. Then everything was black. Chapter 3. Crash. Hot red light, white light. "Close your eyes. It hurts." Headache, terrible headache. Pain everywhere. A voice calling his name again and again. The man opened his eyes slowly. A boy's face. Andy. Hot sun on his face, white light and pain in his eyes. "Where? What?" he said. "Dad," Andy said. "Wake up, I need you." The man tried to move, but his body was full of pain. He could not move his head. He moved his eyes and looked around slowly. All around there was red sand, soft red sand. Above his head was something long and red against the blue sky. Long and red. He knew what it was. The wing of the plane. This was all wrong. "Your mother," he said. "She's all right," said his son. "She's hurt her foot, but it's not bad." The man looked at the wing of the plane above him. Now he knew why it was wrong. It was the top of the wing, which was red. Below it was white. He moved to sit up. His head hurt like fire, but he could see more. A wing against a clear blue sky, a window half under the red sand. "What happened, Andy?" he asked. "Do you know?" The boy shook his head. "I was asleep in the back. Next thing I knew, we were here in the sand. Lucky I had my seatbelt on. The plane's upside down. The front is all broken and under the sand. Mom and me pulled you out. We thought the plane could catch fire, but it's okay. Mom's lying here behind you. She's hurt her foot. I've got all the suitcases and the food and drinks out of the plane. They're over there under the wing." The man turned. The woman was sitting on the sand. Her face and clothes were thick with blood. Her teeth were very white when she smiled. "I know it looks terrible," she said quickly, But it's not my blood and it's not yours, so don't be afraid. I think we hit some birds. One of them, maybe more, came through the plane window, and there were blood and feathers everywhere. A big piece of the window hit you on the side of the head. You were unconscious for a time, and I couldn't fly the plane. We came down in these sand dunes. We're all lucky to be alive." "What happened to your foot?" asked the man. "I don't know. It's my ankle. I think it could be broken. It really hurts. I can't walk on it." "Is the radio still working, do you think?" "Not a hope. The front of the plane is in pieces and under a meter of sand." The man looked at the watch on his wrist. It was still working all right. 2:15 in the afternoon, he said, "the hottest time of the day. We must stay here out of the sun until the sun goes down a little. Let's see what food and water we have. We could be here for some time." By 4 o'clock, the sun was not so high in the sky, and it was not so hot. The man was feeling better. His head still hurt, but he could move about. The woman's ankle hurt a lot, and she could not move at all. They had some drinks from the plane and some food, cake and biscuits, but not enough even for 2 days in the hot, dry air of the desert. The man and his wife spoke quietly. They did not want the boy to hear. "No one knows we are here. I didn't radio Bahrain. No one will start to look for us for 3 or 4 days," said the man. "And really, we have very little food and water." "We should stay with the plane," said the woman. "Make a fire. Smoke. Someone will see us." "There's nothing here to make a fire with. No wood. There's nothing but sand. And there are no people anywhere near here. No roads, no villages. But we must be near the coast. I was turning back to the coast when we hit the birds. If I walk east, I must come to the sea in a few kilometers. There are people on the coast. I'll find someone who can help." "What if you get lost?" said the woman. "I'll keep the sun on my back," said the man. "Then I must be going east towards the sea. I'll take one bottle of water, keep the rest, use it slowly and carefully. I'll be back in a day or two at the most." Chapter 4. The Beach. Now it is almost 6 o'clock. The sun, big and red, is going down over the long dunes of the Wahiba sands. Something is moving in the great red-gold sea. There's a long line of footprints in the sand. A man is walking slowly up the dunes and down the other side. He is not wearing a shirt. The sun is on his back, which is burnt red. He cannot see. He cannot think. He is putting one foot in front of the other in his sleep. He does not know where he is or who he is. He only knows that he must keep moving, keep putting one foot in front of the other. He must keep the sun on his back, keep moving, or die. Suddenly, he feels that the sand is different. It is harder, easier. His feet are suddenly light and free, and he falls on his face. A strange feeling, like cold hands on his face and here and there on his hot, dry body. It is all too difficult to think about. He knows he has fallen and that he cannot get up again. He gives up at last, and all thinking stops. Along the eastern coast of Oman, where the Wahiba sands meet the sea, there are a few, very small villages. There, a few people live by fishing and keeping animals. Near one of these villages, a small boy was running along the low sand dunes next to the beach. He was looking for some of his father's goats, which had wandered off in the afternoon. He wanted to find them and take them back to the village before the sun went down and it was dark. Already the sun was behind the sand dunes. Their tops were a long gold line against the deep blue of the sky. Their sides were changing from brown to purple. Suddenly, the boy saw something on the sand, half in the sea. He came nearer. It was a man, lying on his face in the wet sand where the small waves washed the beach. He was not wearing clothes like the people of the village. He was wearing trousers like the women wear, and no shirt. His shoulders, arms, and back were all burnt and red. The boy came closer. The man did not move at all. The boy ran back to the village as fast as he could. He called his father. There's a dead Kawaja on the beach, he said. Kawaja was their word for foreigner. Chapter 5. Kawaja. The boy's father ran to the headman of the village. The boy says there is a dead Kawaja on the beach, he said. 4 men from the village ran with the boy to where the man was lying on the wet sand. The boy's father turned the man over on his back. There was wet sand on his face and in his dark hair. The headman put his hand on the man's neck. Not dead, he said. He's still alive. We must take him back to the village quickly. The 4 men carried him to the village and put him in the headman's house. They put him on the floor in a dark room and washed him with cold water. They washed the sand from his face. The headman went to a box in his house. In it was a radio telephone. He made a call, the first call that year. A police helicopter came with a doctor from the town of Sur, 200 kilometers to the north. They looked at the man. He was still alive, but not moving. We must get him to the hospital in Muscat, said the doctor. This man is very ill. I can't do anything for him here. The helicopter took the man to the hospital in the capital city. There they took off his dirty clothes, washed him, and put him in a clean bed. There was a plastic bag of water and drugs over the bed, and it ran slowly into the man's arm. The man had a cut on one side of his head, a bad cut, and a small cut on his face between his left ear and his eye. Nothing else, only where his back and face were burnt from the sun. A nurse sat next to his bed all night. The man did not wake up. Sometimes his legs moved in the bed. He was walking in his sleep. Sometimes he made a low noise like an animal. He was talking in his sleep. But the nurse could not understand what he said. Chapter 6. Coma. A day went by and still the man did not move or open his eyes. The nurse by the man's bed on the second morning was from the Philippines. Her name was Imelda. She sat and watched the sleeping man. Sometimes he moved his legs or arms a little. Sometimes he made a low sound. She thought perhaps he would soon wake up and watched him carefully. Suddenly the man's head moved from side to side. His lips moved. Morphia, he said quietly. Imelda put her ear near the man's mouth. Morphia, he said again. Red snow. Imelda spoke to him quietly, but the man did not speak or move again. Imelda went to the door to call Dr. Singh. She wanted to tell him the man was talking, but at that moment the doctor came into the room. There was a police inspector with him. This is Nurse Imelda, said the doctor to the inspector. She is one of the nurses who are looking after the man here, our man from nowhere. This is Inspector Ibrahim, Imelda, of the Royal Oman Police. He has come to help us find out who this man is. Imelda looked at the inspector. He was quite small, with gray hair and a small gray mustache. The man said something a few moments ago, she said. I think it was morphia, and then something like red snow. He was speaking in English, but I'm not sure what he said. Morphia, said the inspector. Is he asking for morphia or morphine, do you think? Is his head or his back hurting him? I don't think so, said the doctor. He has been in a coma since he came here. When you are in a coma, a very deep sleep, you don't usually feel anything. We have given him some drugs to help him. You can see there is a cut on his head, but there is nothing broken. It's probably nothing important, some words in his head, but if he says something, that's a good thing. Perhaps he'll wake up soon and we can find out who he is. Dr. Singh and the inspector stood for a few moments looking at the man in the bed, but he did not move again or make any sound. Then the inspector said, They told me at my office this morning that some fishermen found him on the beach north of Masura Island late in the afternoon 2 days ago. He came here in a helicopter in the night and has not moved or spoken a word until now, and nobody knows who he is or where he came from. That's right, said the doctor. We have no idea. We are waiting for the poor man to wake up. What else can you tell me about him then? Asked the inspector. There must be something. He has been here for a day and a half now. Dr. Singh looked at his papers. Not a lot, I'm afraid, he said. He's about 35 to 40 years old. He's 1 meter 57 tall and weighs about 70 kilos. As you can see, he has brown eyes, short dark hair, a small mustache, and a short beard. I don't think he's Omani. He could be Lebanese or Syrian, or he could be from any country around the Mediterranean, really. Of course, he could also be American or British. It's very hard to say. What about his clothes? What was in his pockets? Things like that, asked the inspector. When they found him, he was wearing only some dirty white trousers. They were white jeans, made in America. Also, blue shorts, blue socks, and some brown boots. They're all in a plastic bag next to the bed there if you want to look at them. But there's no name on any of them, I'm afraid. And there was nothing in the pockets, nothing at all, and he wasn't wearing a shirt of any kind, which is very strange. How is he? Asked the inspector. Is he badly hurt? What about the cut on his head? He has a cut to the left side of his head above the ear, quite a bad one. It was done about 2 or 3 days ago. Then he has another cut on his face. You can see it near his left eye. Not so bad as the one on his head, but something hit him there, something hard. And he has a lot of smaller cuts. Most of them are on his hands, but nothing bad. His back and shoulders are badly burnt by the sun, and he has lost a lot of water. He was very nearly dead when they found him. I think we can say he was in an accident of some kind. I agree with you, said the inspector. But where? I mean, look at his hands. The inspector took the man's left hand and looked at it. He's wearing 2 gold rings and a gold watch, all good, expensive things. Also, his hands under the cuts are soft. So I don't think he works much with his hands. I would say he's a businessman of some kind. And he's a quite rich man, too. Perhaps he's somebody who works in Oman for the government or an oil company. Or perhaps he is a visitor to this country, someone on holiday, said the doctor. I agree, said the inspector. And if he is, his name and photograph will be somewhere in my office with his visa. That's a good place to start looking, anyway. He took a small camera from his bag and took a photograph of the man in the bed. Right, said the inspector. I'll get to work. Let me know at once if he wakes up or says anything you can understand. I'll let you know his name as soon as I can find it. Mom? Yes, Andy? I'm hungry. I know, Andy. I'm hungry too. But we haven't got much food and drink. You know we have to be strong and wait for someone to find us. The sun's coming up. Soon it'll be really hot again like yesterday. Yes, we must stay under the plane, out of the sun. How's your foot? Not very good. If I don't move, it's not too bad, but it hurts a lot. Mom, what's that smell? Is it from the plane? I don't know. I'll have a look. Andy stood up and walked around the plane. Mom, something's running out of the engine. It's running down the plane into the sand. Perhaps it's water. Water from the engine? Yes. No, it's not water. It must be petrol. Petrol. We can use it to make a fire at night. Or can you put it in something? If a plane comes, we can light a fire. We haven't got anything to put it in. Get the suitcases out of the plane. Take out the clothes and put one of them under the petrol. We can burn the clothes. Burn our clothes? Why not? We can buy new clothes. Our lives are more important than a few clothes. Put some of the clothes in the suitcase with the petrol. Okay, Mom, if you think so, Andy replied. Yes, it's good to do something. It helps to give me hope. But what's happened to your father? I just hope he got to the coast all right. Why don't we take a break there? Get some rest. Remember, you are perfect, just the way you are. You're made exactly how you're supposed to be. Have some rest. Have the best dreams. And go out and have the best day tomorrow.